winning 2 of 3. Winning 2 of 3. That's all that matters at the end of the day. That's all that matters. Another series win. You salvaged the road trip, basically, after losing the first 2 games of the road trip in Milwaukee. You find a way to even it out of these 6 games, and you finish 3-3. That's basically more than I can ask for at that point with the way you fell down like that. And hey, good on them. Good on them. Especially after that game that, honestly, should we even talk about that happened last night? Because, oh boy, yesterday was ugly. Yesterday was definitely very ugly. No doubt. Very ugly. They lost 8-0 last night. So probably yesterday isn't even worth talking about. I'll probably just mention it basically for Michael Lorenzen as we get further along this recap and all that stuff. But the most important thing was today, you basically shut down the Padres. Zack Wheeler was great. Sadly, he only went 6 innings because the Padres really worked up his pitch count. But majority throughout that entire game, he was dominant. He was very dominant. Bullpen gets the job done. Hoffman got into a little trouble, but honestly, I wasn't worried about him. I wasn't worried about Hoffman at all. Allows a couple of walks, hits a batter. Has to deal with, Kim in a very long at bat. Gets him the strikeout. And then he finds a way to get Tatis. And hey, offense, they had a lot of chances in this game, but they got the hits when it mattered. They got the hits when it mattered. It didn't start off like that, though. It definitely didn't start off like that. Good to see Kyle Schwarber get another leadoff bomb because he just continues to be the best leadoff hitter in baseball. Then you get bases loaded with 0 outs and you don't score in classic Phillies fashion, and I'm just like, oh, God, here we go. This is going to be a long day. This is going to be a very long day at the office, but thankfully, Zack Wheeler did his thing. He managed to, shut down this Padres lineup for a little bit. And the Phillies offense, they found a way to do their thing. Bryce Harper finally snapped his 0 for skid, 0 for 20 skid, I believe it was. It was a very long streak. And overall, I'm not worried about Bryce. Sometimes this shit just happens where you're on the peak of the mountain and you're just going and hitting on all cylinders, and to just magically, with a blink of an eye, you're struggling again. And you can't figure it out. And you're getting a little bit unlucky. You're not making good contact. Bryce Harper settled down with a couple of base runners on with 2 outs. And he managed to get a run. Get a double into the gap and score some runs. So that was nice to see from Bryce. He definitely needed that off the schneid. JT with another home run as well on this road trip. Another, basically moonshot. Everyone in the lineup today did their little bit of contribution. Everyone in the lineup today had a hit, basically, which was nice to see, too. And, these last 2 games without Trey Turner because he's on the paternity leave. Congratulations to him and his wife for, having the kid. And as everyone on Twitter says, congrats on the sex, because sex is a fantastic thing. We all crave it. I don't know why I'm going down that route, but it's funny when people just, that's the first thing they saw when Trey Turner went on paternity leave. Congrats on the sex. Congrats. But he'll be back for Friday at home. Weekend series against the Miami Marlins. So that'll be nice. And the Phillies do get a little bit of a break facing the Marlins, and we'll get into that in a little bit as well. But yeah, series win, most important thing. The Cubs, I believe they swept the Giants, so it's good to get a couple of wins when the Cubs are on a little bit of a hot streak going in here now. So even though the Phillies still control their own destiny, I would like to win games when the teams around them are winning, because the Marlins, they were on a little bit of a hot streak coming into this weekend. The Cubs are on an insane hot streak. The Brewers, same thing basically, but right now you still control your own destiny. You still got to win as many series as possible, because I do want to lock up that first wildcard spot. I do want home field advantage for the wildcard series. I feel like that's still the most important thing that this team needs to do. They really need to do it. So they're still in a very good spot. I believe after this win, they're still a game and a half up on the Cubs, and think about it, it's basically like 2.5 games, because you do have the tiebreaker with the Cubs because you won the season series. So that's really important there. So yeah, you just got to hope the Cubs don't, go all the way pass up and take over first place in the NL Central with the Brewers, because you don't have the tiebreaker with them. But overall, it's still series win, most important thing. Now you got a little bit of a homestand right here, 7 games, I believe. Marlins, 4 games with the Braves. And then basically as you get closer and closer and closer and closer towards the end of the season. Because it's basically winding up really quickly here. We don't have that many weeks left in the MLB season. Not that many left. I believe it's only like, 20-something games left, if not even, at this point. So yeah, it's coming up on us pretty fast here, boys. Getting to some exciting times, getting closer to October, Red October, hopefully. And it's going to be some fun stuff with this team. I do believe it. I do believe there's going to be some fun stuff with this team come up to October. So yeah, I can't wait for all of that. But let's get into the afternoon tilt. We're barely going to focus on yesterday. Like I said, mainly the takeaway from yesterday, Michael Lorenzen, he was going to have to eat innings. He was solid for the most part, but then it's just started to unwind as you get into the 4th, as you get into the 6th. Like, he had a lot of scoreless innings in last night's ball game, but the offense basically wasn't doing anything the entire time. They only had 3 hits the entire night, and it just wasn't their night. It just wasn't their night. That's basically the bottom line there. Michael Lorenzen blew up a little bit again after having a few scoreless innings. So I think at this point he's just, he's just pitching his way back into the bullpen. And I basically expected that was the way it was going to go. Him going into the bullpen, because that's basically what you traded him for. He wasn't going to start a game in the postseason. He was mainly going to be your long inning guy out of the bullpen when you needed like a spot, something for him in a situation. That was basically what he was brought here for. And just to extend the rotation a little bit to give some guys some extra rest. So that's basically all it was. So let's go to this game. Top of the 1st inning, Kyle Schwarber with a nice leadoff bomb. You always love to see that out of Mr. Schwarber. What is that, like his 41st home run of the year? Could Schwarber hit 50? If Schwarber goes on a big enough hot streak, because he honestly already is on a hot streak, dating back to the Milwaukee series. If Schwarber continues this stretch, he could probably get near 50 home runs. He had 46 last year. Let's see where this carries him. He's still got a good amount of weeks to go. So let's see where it takes him. Bohm had a ground rule double. Bryce Harper walked. Nick Castellanos with a nice, little infield single. Everybody's safe, but then no one was able to get anybody home. Stott flew out to shallow right. JT struck out and Marsh struck out. So everyone was saying to themselves, oh God, that's definitely not going to come back to bite them in the ass. Zack with a nice 1-2-3 inning to start off his day. Nothing happening in the top of the 2nd inning after a Schwarber 2-out single. Top of the 3rd inning, Nick Castellanos walks, Stott singles, but then JT and Marsh weren't able to do anything again. Another 1-2-3 inning for Wheeler in the 3rd. Top of the 4th, the Phillies were able to hit with a runner on. Sosa with a leadoff single. He steals 2nd. Schwarber works a walk. And then Bryce Harper battling in his at-bats. Finds a way on a 1-2 count. Just puts it out into the outfield. Goes into the gap. 2 runs scored because of it. 3-0 ball game there. Padres gave Wheeler a little bit of trouble in the 4th. They were taking a lot of pitches in this game. Leadoff strikeout. Gets Tatis to fly out to deep left field. Died right at the wall. Then he walks Soto. And then Manny Machado gets the first hit of the game for the Padres on a blooper. So it's a 1st and 3rd situation. But Bogarts grounds out to end off the inning. No damage done there. Top of the 5th, JT with a 1-out center field bomb. Marston follows up with a single. Same thing with Sosa for a walk. And then Jake Cave gets a little bit of a bleeder into the outfield past Bogarts. I have no idea what he was doing there at shortstop. Scores another run. Phillies up 5-0. Another 1-2-3 inning for Zack Wheeler in the 5th. Gary Sanchez had a deep fly ball to center field, though, in this inning. And Brendan Marsh made a very nice catch. Honestly, you probably could have argued that the ball possibly could have gone out if Marsh wasn't able to track it down properly. It was close. It was definitely close. So, good catch by Marsh. Good catch by Marsh. Fantastic stuff there. Top of the 6th inning. Phillies offense wasn't able to do much. They got a couple of runners on, but nothing going on there. That's basically what it is for the rest of the game. Zack Wheeler comes out in the 6th, has to deal with the top of the lineup again after Kim walks, but he manages to get out of that. No harm done there. Bottom of the 7th, Seraphini with a very quick and easy inning. Bottom of the 8th, Hoffman gets into a little bit of a trouble. Hits Sanchez to start the inning. Then he strikes out the next batter for the first out. Walks Grisham. Then he gets Kim to strike out on a very long at bat. 3-2 count. Just battling the entire time. Kim strikes out. And then Tatis, very quick at bat, flies out. Very nice stuff there. And then the bottom of the 9th, Matt Strahm out there on the mound, coming in with a one-hitter. Gets the first 2 guys out. Strikes out Soto, very dominant fashion there. Gets Manny Machado the line out. But then, of course, Strahm has to ruin everything with 2 outs. Allows a double to Bogarts. And then Cooper singles to score a run, but then he manages to get the final out of the game. Of course, he ruined the shutout. Matt Strahm, that is. Of course. Of course, he ruined the one-hitter. Of course, he ruined the shutout. But a win is a win. A win is a win. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. Bullpen, once again, got the job done. Zack Wheeler was very good, so that's honestly 3-4 starts in a row for Zack Wheeler where he looked pretty good out there. So that's very nice to see. Basically, his numbers since the All-Star break, I believe he has a sub-2 ERA, or sub-3 ERA since the All-Star break. So that's very nice to see as well. So yeah, looking at the lineup, everyone did their little bit of contribution. Kyle Schwarber had a fantastic day. He was 2 for 4 with a solo shot and a walk. Getting that batting average up there. He's at 195 now. Could Kyle Schwarber possibly get near 200? Could he finally surpass the 200 average milestone there, Schwarber? Could he? Who knows? Alec Bohm goes 1 for 5. Bryce Harper goes 1 for 4 with 2 RBI. Nick Castellanos 1 for 4. Bryson Stott 2 for 4. JT 2 for 4 with a solo shot. Brandon Marsh 1 for 5. Sosa 1 for 4. Cave 1 for 5. Phillies were 3 for 16 with runners in scoring position. Zack Wheeler, 6 innings, 1 hit allowed, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts on 105 pitches. Seraphini Dominguez only needed 11 pitches for the 7th inning. Jeff Hoffman, like I said, he got into his trouble, but he got 2 strikeouts to finish off the inning. Matt Strahm allowed 2 hits, allowed a run, struck out 2 on 20 pitches to finish off the ball game. Series win. You get a nice day off tomorrow. We can also enjoy the start of the NFL season tomorrow with the day off. What is it, like Chiefs and Lions, Bills? Well, I think it's Lions, if I am not mistaken. I think it's Chiefs-Lions to start off the year, so that definitely will be a little bit interesting there. We're also going to be doing, I believe, before that game, we'll do our little, Eagles season preview. I did make a post there on YouTube and Twitter just for you guys to leave your thoughts and everything there. I put a post out there for your guys' predictions for the year, your biggest concerns, and what you're most excited for this upcoming Eagles season, because it definitely is going to be a fun one. Trying to get back to the Super Bowl, get back to the promised land. I believe they can. But that's the focus for tomorrow. Phillies now back to 15 games above 500. They are 77-62. Looking at the standings so far, Phillies back to a game and a half above the Chicago Cubs. They have been winning a lot recently. They've won 4 in a row, and I believe they swept the San Francisco Giants. So, yeah, the Giants are basically falling apart right now. They're back to 500 at this point. They're 70-70. So, yeah, the Marlins, they are getting hot a little bit. They've won 5 in a row, but they're playing right now against the Los Angeles Dodgers, and I'm not sure what they're doing currently. Yes, they are losing 1-0. So, we'll see what happens there. And speaking of the Marlins, like I said earlier, maybe a little bit of help coming into the series because the Marlins put 2 key players on their IL. So I believe Sandy Alcantara, he got placed on, where is it at? So I can get everything here. Yep. Marlins are placing Sandy Alcantara on I believe it's the injured list with a discomfort in his arm. So that's definitely concerning in that aspect. So I believe he was supposed to start Saturday in Philadelphia. And now that's out of the question with, arm discomfort. So we'll see how that progresses. And for also a huge, power threat in their lineup, Jorge Soler, who has killed you this year, he's going on the IL as well with an oblique strain. I believe that's the 10-day IL. So that's going to take him out for the Phillies series as well. So you got some help there with some of their key players injured. So take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. If you look at this upcoming series with the Marlins, I believe it's either Christopher Sanchez or Aaron Nola on Friday, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, it's going to be Christopher Sanchez on Friday against Yuri Perez. So that's the first time you're going to be seeing this kid. So that'll be interesting to see how that happens. He is 5-4 with a 2.86 ERA. 20-year-old phenom for the Marlins, one of their top prospects, has been really good this year. So we'll see how the Phillies offense handles this guy. And then it's going to be Aaron Nola on Saturday against Johnny Cueto. We've seen Cueto so far this year, so we know what he's capable of. And then Sunday's going to be Rangers Suarez against to be determined at this point. So I'm assuming for the Marlins rotation, it was originally Cueto on Friday and Alcantara on Saturday. I wonder if they moved Cueto back and moved Perez up. I wonder if that's the case. And then for the Atlanta Braves series, that's 4 games there. It's going to be Taijuan Walker, Michael Lorenzen, Christopher Sanchez, and Zack Wheeler that series. So that's interesting. That is very, 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 very interesting there. So look, they're going Taijuan Walker and Lorenzen for the doubleheader. That's surprising. That is honestly surprising. And for the Braves, it's going to be Spencer Strider, then to be determined for the doubleheader. Then Max Fried on Tuesday, and then Bryce Edler on the Wednesday afternoon game. Or the Wednesday night game. So we'll see how it goes there. And then you go into that St. Louis series, and then the rest of the schedule as it goes there. So we'll get to that point when it gets there. But yep. Series with the Marlins upcoming this weekend. Continue the way you've been playing at home, and you'll be absolutely 100% fine. I think the offense will come back to life a little bit. Overall, it's just, you took care of business. You bounced back after the Milwaukee series. Just win series. That's all you got to do at this point. Win series. And I do want to see the Cubs schedule as it progresses, because they do have some key games upcoming. I do believe the Chicago Cubs. Yeah, 7 out of the next 10 games for the Cubs against the Diamondbacks. They got a 4-game series with the Diamondbacks at home this week, Thursday through Sunday. And then they have a 3-game series in Colorado. And then they have a 3-game series in Arizona. So their schedule gets a little tough and a little easy at the same time, because they got those 7 games with Arizona, but then they also mix in their Colorado, Pittsburgh, and Colorado. But then to close out the season, it's going to be tough for them. 3 games in Atlanta and 3 games in Milwaukee to close out the year. So that definitely is a little bit of a tough stretch there for the Cubbies. So we'll see how they'll handle it. They're on a nice little hot streak right now, but that can run out at any time. But as for the Phillies, just take care of your business. Take care of your business. We know what our schedule is. It's definitely easier than the Cubs. So take advantage of it, and you'll be perfectly fine. You will be perfectly fine. Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. I don't even know where I was going there. I was just blubbering to myself at that point. But yeah, series win. Feels good. Feels good. We can relax the rest of the night. And then basically the off day tomorrow, and you can just focus on football if that's what you want to watch. So, yeah. That's basically it there. We don't have anything on the Anytime hotline, so we're not going to go there. I'll go to the live feed before we end this off. David, how you doing? Anything is possible. Wheeler took a perfect game into the 5th inning with a bloop single by Machado, and that's it until the 9th. Never had any nervous feelings. Knew this was a win from pitch number 1. I'm glad you felt that, David. Glad you felt that. What else? Yep, Trey Turner with the paternity stuff. Yep, congratulations to him. Austin, how you doing? Heading to the gym now after watching that much-needed win. All I can say is great work, Wheeler, and well done to the bullpen for closing it out. Schwarber, keep up the home runs, and congrats to Trey Turner. Can't stick around as usual, but I feel good going into the Marlins series. Have a great night. You have a great night too, Austin, if you already left, most likely by now. What do you think a 5-2 Jose? What do you think, a 5-2 homestand? 5-2. It'll definitely be very tough with the Brave series. Just win series. That's all. Win the series against Miami, and because you got a doubleheader with the Braves on Monday. doubleheaders, especially against the Braves, that's going to be hard to sweep. I would say split that at best. I would say just split the Braves series because they're just so incredible this year. So I would say win a series against Miami and then maybe split the series with Atlanta. That's what I would say at this point because it's going to be insanely hard to win a 4 games against them. So we'll see what happens there, though. We'll see what happens. You can always split the doubleheader and then win the next 2 games to close out the season, or the series. So we'll see what happens. Focus on the Marlins first. Win that series. You're definitely very capable of winning that series, especially now with the Marlins and their injuries. So then take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. Ugh. Let's see what happens, though. Excuse me there for the cough. Still dealing with the cough a little bit. Feel better allergy-wise. Like my nose isn't as congested as it was. Still a cough, though. The cough won't go away. It's getting, dimmer and dimmer as the day goes along, the cough. But it's still there a little bit. Still there. So, it'll go away. It will. Just a little more Mucinex to drown the cough out. But hey. See what happens. But yeah. Tomorrow on the schedule is the Eagles preview. We'll be doing that tomorrow night. Probably before the Chiefs game, just so we can all just sit back, relax, and watch that. So that'll be nice to see. So yeah. Oh, and just in time, we do have a voicemail here from Sean Fitzpatrick. He just left it in at the last minute, so why not? Let's get this voicemail in, and then we can end on the stream. So, Sean, better late than never. Better late than never, Sean.
So if my math is correct, the Phillies end the road trip at 500, which I said coming into it I would have taken. It was a good, a bad, and an ugly trip, to say the least. Even today, I mean, the Phillies should have beat them about 25-0 with the amount of runners that they left on base. But a great outing by Zack Wheeler. That's what an ace of the staff is supposed to do. You needed innings, you needed efficiency, and you needed a win, and he provided you all of those things. Now you come home in a couple days against the Marlins. That's a big series. I know the Marlins have a couple injuries right now that I saw with Alcantara and Soler, but let's get that sweep. I mean, you're back home. Hopefully the bats don't gag with runners in scoring position the way they did today. We'll see if Trey Turner is back in the lineup, but just keep stacking W's. And by the way, since the fans in San Diego were chanting it, EAGLES equals, let's go.
You gotta let the Go Birds out there. You definitely gotta let the Go Birds chant out. Oh, classic. Philly fans travel well, especially out there in California. Yeah, definitely hearing those Eagles chants the past couple of days. That's always nice. Phillies fans taking over California ballparks. That's always nice to see. And then, when the Phillies are up by so much, you hear the Eagles chants. Always nice. Always nice stuff. Basically that time of the year where your general greeting is Go Birds to another person when you walk by them or something like that. It's getting to that point of the year because, Eagles are on Sunday, first game in New England, Foxborough. Gonna be some fun stuff here. Gonna be some fun stuff. So yeah, like I said, basically tomorrow night, maybe like around 7:30, that's when we'll do our little Eagles preview thing. So definitely get your thoughts and everything there on either at the voicemail line 215-839-9885. You can leave those answers there, or you can leave in the comment section on the post that I made on YouTube, or if you want to go to the Twitter post that I posted this afternoon, you can leave it in the Twitter as well. So definitely leave your thoughts there, and yeah, definitely some good stuff there, and we'll get to it. So definitely stay tuned for that tomorrow, everybody, but it's going to do it for tonight. I appreciate everyone here for joining the stream as always. Good series win by the Phillies. Day off tomorrow. Let's go to the Marlins on this weekend. So, don't forget to leave a comment. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It does me a great deal of service. Join the TTP Sports family. Also use the code TTP Sports, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Use it for any Phillies games or Eagles games now, since they're back. Great deal. Don't pass it up. Thank you once again, everyone, for